Yes?
Yes, and I'm done.
All righty. Well, I'm excited to be here. Once again, I want to welcome you all to this workshop. We're going to help you to put all the basic training that you learned in the journal workshop. We're going to put it to practice here. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
So public speaking, as you said, is very, very, very important. Doesn't matter what career path you take. Doesn't matter what you do in life, the way you present yourself is very important because that's how people would judge you. People would judge you how you speak. People would judge you how you present yourself. But most of all, people would judge you how you judge yourself. So in public speaking, it's not just all about the audience. It's really about you as a person. Because as my professional background, I'm a nurse and a health educator. I went to the University of Florida. I graduated and went to the University of Miami. And then now, currently, I am a life and business coach, author, and speaker. And I help speakers start their business. I coach speakers as well to get them to improve on their speaking abilities, as well as manage speakers. So I help them to find speaking opportunities. As well as I also help people start up new businesses. So new entrepreneurs, I help them get started and ready. So public speaking is important in every area of our lives. And so today we're going to put those skills to test. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So before we begin, I want you all, even though I've introduced myself before the presentation, I would like each of you to stand up. Now this is only a test, but each of you will stand up and you will introduce yourselves. And I'm going to give you 3 things to introduce yourselves on. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
No? Well, you better get ready. Now, the 3 things I want you to tell about yourself is, of course, your name. What is your career goal? Because I truly believe that we should always think about our career goals and always be in the planning phase and have a strategic plan. And not only that, as I spoke to one of the students before we got started, whatever goal you want in life, own it. Own it. Not, I wish, it may happen, hopefully, maybe, maybe not. Own it. So I want you to put out whatever your career goals are. And 3, the most unique thing about you. As all of us are unique in our own ways, and that's what makes us different. So who would like to get started? I guess we'll start over here, and we'll just kind of make our way around the room. So once again, you're going to say your name, your future career goal, and what makes you unique. And speak loudly and clearly so everyone can hear you.
Hi, my name is Craven Ellison. My career goal is to become a civil or computer engineer. And one thing unique about me is that I play baseball, and not most African Americans look towards playing baseball. So.
My name is Royce Mumford. What is this question?
Career goal.
My career goal is to make the NBA, but my backup, if I don't make it, is to major in law enforcement. And what is unique about me is I get young to get hired for my height.
Okay. I know you guys just came in. What we're doing is you have 3 things to introduce yourselves. You're going to say your name, your career goal, and what makes you unique. So we're going to start off with you. If you could say your names for us and answer those questions as well.
My name is Alindra. I want to be a music producer. I'm unique because I'm a leader.
Okay. Next.
My name is Alexandria Irish, and I'm looking into sports like management or something like that. I play basketball currently, and that's why.
And what makes you unique?
Oh, because I'm a guard and I'm only like 5'2". So.
Okay, great. And if you've already introduced yourself, you can go ahead and have a seat. You're next.
My name is Dania McDonald. I want to be a lawyer, and what makes me unique is that I am very talkative.
Very talkative, so definitely that is going to be a great asset to be a lawyer. Only when you're in the court, you don't want to be too talkative. If you would like to stand up and tell us your name, you're a little shy. Oh, okay, we'll let you pass. Go ahead.
My name is Jasmine. My career goal is to go into forensic psychology or something in sports. And what makes me unique is that I play 3 sports.
Okay, you want to share those 3 sports real quick with us?
Basketball, like football, and run track.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next.
Hi, I'm Tony Hamilton, and my future career goal is to become an attorney. And what makes me unique is I like giving back to the community through community service, and I like helping others.
Awesome. Sir?
Hello, my name is Jacoby Simon. I want to grow up to be a learning sciences, so one thing unique about me is that in everything that I do, I give 100%.
Awesome. And sir?
My name is Ryan Peters, and what I want to do when I grow up is be a basketball player. Something unique about me is my athleticism.
Is what?
My athleticism.
Your athletic skills. Sir?
My name is Terry McDonald, and I would like to be a football player because I'm very talented.
Okay, and what makes you unique? What makes you stand out? What makes you different? I know you could say one thing. There's only one you, right? That's a start? Okay, great, thank you. And do you want to introduce yourself? You're too shy? Okay, no problem. Well, you all did a great job. But what I would like to tell you, give you some tidbits on introducing yourself. When you introduce yourself, that is setting the stage of how people will present you. That is setting the stage no matter where you are, just like we had our panelists introduce themselves. When you go to a job, when you're in class, when you're out in the community, when you're at church, wherever you are, you're going to have to introduce yourself. So some tips I would like to give you are, 1, speak loudly and clearly, not yelling. You're not going to say, "Hi, my name is..." No, you're going to say, "Hi, my name is," and your name. So you want to speak clearly enough so the person can hear you. Especially in South Florida, we have a lot of elderly population, so you want to make sure you speak loud and clear. It's not that you have to yell, but if you enunciate and pronounce your words clearly, they'll be able to understand you. But it's kind of hard when you're introducing yourself. Someone has to ask you to repeat yourself, like I had to ask some of you all. Or they can't hear you, so they just act like they heard you, but they really didn't. So you want to make sure, 1, you speak loudly and clearly. The next thing I would say is that you need eye contact. When you're speaking with someone, you're introducing yourself, you want to look them directly in the eye. That shows that you're confident, that shows you know what you're talking about. And of course, if you kind of shy away as you're speaking to them, either 1, they might think you're shy, or 2, that you're lying. So when you're looking at someone, you're introducing yourself, you want to look the person directly in the eye. You don't want to stare at them. You're not going to go like this, "Hi, my name is..." Of course not. But you make that initial eye contact so you can also show that person you see that they're in front of you and you're giving them your undivided attention. The next point I would make in introducing yourself is that when you're introducing yourself, your posture. Some of you all were like this. Some of you all were like this. Oh, none of you all were like that. But some of you all were just very closed when you were speaking, when you're introducing yourself. Which kind of, when you're speaking, in any opportunity, you want to be open. You want to be receptive. When you go into a room and someone is like this, are you going to walk up to them? Do they look friendly and approachable? If someone's like this, are you going to walk up and introduce yourself? Yes? No?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Some of you all like to go to the ones that no one likes to talk to. That's fine. But when you're presenting yourself, when you're introducing yourself, have great posture. Stand up strong, because you know who you are. You're the only you. Stand up strong, have your shoulders back, you have direct contact, you give that person your undivided attention, and put your hands at the side. Be relaxed. If you're a little nervous, putting your hands behind your back is also not good protocol. You want to keep your hands at the side and just be relaxed and loose. Just like before we came into our sessions, we had the group warm-up, and she had us move and do all these different gestures and breathing. That's something you want to think about. If you get a little nervous, put your hands at the side and just shake them a little bit before the person comes. Or if you get a little nervous, just kind of get the jitteries out and just do whatever you have to do. But when you're speaking or when you're introducing yourself, you want to be open, you want to be confident, but most of all, you want to be relaxed. So hopefully that will help. Now, any questions there? No? All right. Now we're going to move into, I'd like 2 volunteers, please. All right, if you can make sure everyone gets one. You go on that end and you can come on this side. And just make sure everyone has one. Does everyone have a pen or paper or something to write notes on? Who are my talkers in the room? If you love to talk, raise your hand. So these 2, so I know not to call on you guys. You 3, the talkers. Okay, so everyone else is a non-talker, kind of shy, or only speak when spoken to. Is that what it is? Okay. Great. Now, who's ever done a speech before? No matter how long or short, no matter what kind of speech it was, okay? Would you like to give us some pointers or insight before we begin in our workshop, your experience about public speaking and giving a speech? Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Okay, if you ever get nervous and your voice starts to crack, like, don't look at people because they make you more nervous. Stare at like a spot on the wall or something like that, or look at like the person's forehead.
Unless they have the third eye, then you don't look at their forehead.
Yeah.
Did you want to have some?
Be confident with what you're saying. Makes it seem like you know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And who else had out? Go ahead.
When you're delivering your speech, if you see someone like agreeing with you, just like try to make more eye contact with them because it makes you feel more confident with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And who else? Who else had an opportunity to speak before?
It was me, but I don't really have any.
Any point? Do you want to tell us your experience? How did it make you feel? What kind of?
I don't remember. I was like 8, so.
Kind of so old now you can't remember 8 years old, huh? Well, I understand. Anyone else? And the reason why I ask that because I want you amongst your peers to know what the experience is like. As me speaking as a facilitator, presenter, I want it to be interactive. I want, I'm learning just like you all, even though I'm the expert, but I feel like we can all learn from each other. And I always, so if you have any insight, any feedback, do not hesitate to be a part of the process. So everyone has this sheet, correct? Called the icebreaker, yes? Great. Now the icebreaker, as I mentioned in my introduction in the journal session, I'm also in Toastmasters. And Toastmasters is an international organization that works on public speaking and leadership. It's a self-paced organization, an educational program. We have under 300,000 members worldwide. And what I love about this organization as representing Western Area Toastmasters, and that is an organization I've taken public speaking in college. I have been speaking ever since I guess I was born, so I was one of those who loved to talk as well. When I was in school, I thought they called me Miss Oprah, Little Miss Oprah, because I would always get good student but talks too much. Well, I guess it's working for me now, huh? So, it's one of those things that Toastmasters really helped me to realize that I needed individual sharpening of my skills. I may have been speaking all my life, but I noticed through Toastmasters it helped me to realize there's some things that I needed to work on. And we all need help in working in some areas, no matter what gifts and talents you have. You have to work on it. You have to sharpen it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to, this Project 1 is part of the Competent Communication Manual, which is the basic level of Toastmasters. And we use this as our first speech. And we have 10 projects within the Competent Communication Manual. And in that manual, it helps you work on the basic understanding and skills of what is needed to be a great public speaker. So we're going to do the first project here today. It's called the icebreaker. And the icebreaker speech, generally the criteria is about 5 to 7 minutes, and you're talking about yourself. Now, do you all think that's an easy project, talking about yourself?
No.
Not at all. When I did my icebreaker speech, I meant I was a nervous wreck. I remind you, I've been speaking pretty much all my life. But doing this icebreaker speech, it was so hard for me to talk about myself. Remember, just as Miss Marlene talked about the opening, the body, and the closing, I was like, what do I say? I know me better than myself, but how do I present that in a speech? I mean, I could do it in a communication, a one-to-one discussion with someone, but to actually stand up before people and tell my life story, and first of all, in 5 to 7 minutes. Who can do that, first of all? But second of all, talking about yourself. So it was so hard. So we're going to see how well you all are going to do in talking about yourself. So get ready. So get those balls rolling of what experiences you've had in life, no matter how old or young you are. But we really want you to think about, what do you want people to know? Because I truly believe that a great speaker, it's not about the audience, as I said it before. Yes?
What's an evaluator?
An evaluator? An evaluator is someone who helps you to critique your speech. So in our Toastmaster meetings, we have evaluators for each speaker that's presenting a speech. And that evaluator, their job is to analyze your speech. Not the content, but how you presented your speech. Because when you're speaking, it's all about presentation. It's about vocal variety. It's about eye contact. It's about body language. If I'm telling you about myself and I'm going like this, does that really speak on myself? Would that kind of confuse you if I'm talking about walking in the desert and my body's going like this? Would that help you to understand what my speech is about? Does that? No. So there's a lot of different basic skills that are needed in public speaking, and that's what the job of the evaluator is. Any other questions? No. Okay. So now, in talking about yourself, like I said, it's not about the audience, it's about you. So as our fellow peer said, it's about being confident. It's about knowing your audience, as they stated earlier in the general presentation. But really, it's all about you being comfortable. Because the more comfortable you are, the able you're better to give a great presentation. So I want you guys to take out a sheet of paper. If you don't have one, you can write it on the back of this sheet. And you can write it on the empty side over here. And what you're going to do is, remember that a speech has 3 parts. And what are those 3 parts?
Intro, body,
Yes. And I'm going to give you some tips before you start that process. So the opening. Does the opening have to relate to the rest of your speech?
Yes.
Not necessarily. But that technique has to be well crafted. Because your opening necessarily does not have to meet the rest, connect with the rest of your speech. But it has to be an attention getter. It has to be an attention grabber. So if you are going to do that technique, which if you are a little, you want to go up for a challenge, I encourage you to go ahead and do it. And what it is that the attention grabber can be something like, do you know what happened to me today? I was walking down the street minding my own business. Yeah, and I saw a dime on the floor, and it said, hello. I said, what? That dime on the floor told me hello. I was like, hello, Diamond, how are you? That Diamond said, pick me up. I said, I'm not pick you up, Diamond. I can't bend down. This grandma right here, her back, ooh, child. If she bend down, she ain't never gonna get back up. But let me tell you about the elderly population. Let me tell you that in Florida, 95% of our population is 90 years old and over, and they still driving. Where is the law on that one? See, that's an attention grabber. It necessarily doesn't have to correlate with the body of the speech, but I grabbed your attention, right? So you were sitting at the edge of your seat trying to figure out, okay, where is she taking this? Where is she going with this? How does this make sense? What is her speech about? But that's a technique that is it's like I said, it's a little challenging, but it's a good attention grabber to get people's attention. Because that's the hardest thing, especially when you're just coming on stage and you're going to give a presentation. The first few seconds that you have, that's going to make or break your speech. So if you don't have your audience in the first few lines of your speech, it's going to be hard to get them back again. So that's one technique that you could think about in doing your opening. But if you're not up to a challenge, which is all right, you can just give a general introduction. You could talk about what is the overall view of your opening about your speech to kind of help give people a kind of quick synopsis of what is leading into the rest of your speech. Then the body. The body of the speech should have, the body of the speech should have mainly 3 points. So we said that we need an opening. We said the 2 is body, and in the body you need generally 3 points. Point 1, point 2, and point 3. Beyond 3 to 4 points in your body will kind of be a little long unless you are giving a long speech. But generally, for a general speech under 45 minutes, generally 3 points is suffice. And those 3 points are supporting points to what you want your audience to know about your topic. So did you all get the registration form that tells you the 2 topics that they're looking at, or the 2 topics you should be talking about if you're going to do the competition? No? Okay, we'll go over that. How many of you all are going to enter the competition? Are thinking about entering the competition? Not too many hands up in the air. Do you know they're going to give you money?
Yeah.
What competition?
That you don't have to work for? The Jack and Jill, they have a local competition in March. That's what this workshop is about. This workshop is to give you the basic skills in order to be prepared for the competition that they're having in March. Did you not know about that? No. Okay, well, I believe you'll be getting more information about it. But for the, it's going to be March 17th, which is a Saturday, and they have a Community Oratorical Competition. Do you know what oracle means?
Nah.
Communication. Oral communication. How you speak, public speaking. And so they have 2 topics. The 2 topics are for 13 to high school senior, born with talent, bred with skill. For those ages 10 and 12, service, excellence, and leadership. But don't talk about it, be about it. So those are the 2 topics. So if you are in the first group, ages 13 through high school senior, and your topic is born with talent, bred with skill, what are some 3 points that you could write about under that topic? Yes.
Being that if you have talent, it's something that you're born with, but for you to being smart, you have to gain your smart.
So intelligence could be one of your points. Okay, what else?
You can talk about how you found out your talent and then how you help that.
So finding talent or identifying your talent, ID talent. What could be a 3rd point? Yes, sir.
How you execute your talents.
How do you execute your talents? Great. Good job. All right, now if you are in the ages of 10 to 12, service, excellence, and leadership. But don't talk about it, be about it. Now let's get the younger ones. Who all is in that age group, 10 to 12? Just these 2? And you? Okay, so the older people in the group, you guys will help them. So what are some 3 points that they can use in their speech? Do I need to read the topic again? I know it's kind of long. Okay. Service, excellence, and leadership. Don't talk about it, be about it. Yes.
Some leadership roles.
Leadership roles. Okay. What is another point that they could have? Yes.
Like an important example of a leader.
Okay. So they could possibly put that under, when you're giving examples or samples or kind of elaborating on it, that's still going to be part one of your points. So they can give, for leadership roles, maybe they could give example of how they've seen a leader act in a role and how it inspired them. So that's a great idea. Yes.
Some service projects or service they did.
So maybe they can, now if they're going to talk about a specific experience, what they could do depending on how they open their speech. So if they, someone said that their importance is community service. So even though that they have a topic here, maybe they want to hone in on community service, then they're able to use that example, and then that example could be one of their points. So we could talk about community service. Sorry, my handwriting is not as great. Blame it, I used to be a nurse, so we always have to write fast when the doctors gave us orders. What is another example that we can give to them for a 3rd point? What about you guys? If you had to write this speech, what is something you would like to talk about in your speech? About service, excellence, and being a leader. Don't talk about it, be about it. Because I know you're going to do the competition. So what is an example? You got an example? No? No? You're thinking. All right, you keep thinking, we'll come back to you. Who else? What is another point that we can... What is another point as you're going to do the speech competition, right? No, you're thinking about it though, right? What would one of your points be in talking about service, excellence, and leadership? What is something you would like to talk about in that speech? Yes.
How you could build yourself as a leader.
The process, how to build yourself. Great. So process of becoming a leader. questions there? Because now it's time to get to the nitty gritty. You guys get to put it to the test. As I'm going to give you some time in order to make your own speech. For whatever age group you fall into, you're going to write your topic. And you're just going to do a brief outline about, oh, I forgot one part. What part did I forget?
Clothing.
The closing. You want to make sure you're paying attention. Let's talk about the closing. What is the closing about?
Wrapping up your point.
Wrapping it up, summarizing. What else? Do you have to repeat your whole speech in the closing?
No.
No.
Giving like specific examples of your speech, of what you said, reasons.
Mm-hmm. Just really summarizing, tied up, and it doesn't have to be, yes.
Oh, like how you said, connecting it all.
Connecting it all together, word for word. Because remember, your closing and opening need to stand on its own. And when I say that, I mean that your opening should be able, because if you have you ever had to memorize for a test? Yes. Is memorization very easy or difficult? It's difficult. Now imagine trying to memorize your own speech. Do you think that's easy or difficult? Difficult, yes it is. So when you're writing your speech, that's what you want to keep in mind. You want to write your speech in a way that you can say, I can remember this information. And when you do that, when you're doing your opening should be able to stand on its own. And saying that, when you write the opening, you're thinking about it. It necessarily should not connect with the body of your speech. In the sense that if you forget about your opening, you're able to readjust your opening for your memorization. Because what is one of the tips that they gave us in the general session? When you're speaking, you forget it. Who knows? Who knows? You're the only one that know your speech. So you forget or you make a mistake, no one knows unless you just, there you go, just wing it. And so that's the point that I'm trying to get you with the opening. You want to make sure it's strong and powerful. But also remember that you're able to curtail it enough so that you can remember it. Then the body, of course the body is the meat of your speech. You want to make sure that you know those 3 points in and out. You may not remember the information, you may not remember the examples, but you want to remember those 3 points that you want to get across in the speech. And then we get to the closing, and the closing is summarizing. It doesn't have to be word for word. It doesn't have to be, this was my speech, I talked about this, this, and this, and this. No, you want to make sure that just as your opening was powerful, you want to make the closing powerful. Because if a speech is for 10 minutes, what part of it are you going to remember? If someone was speaking for 10 to 20 minutes, what part of it are you most likely going to remember? The last thing they said, right? Right? So you want to make sure that closing is just as strong and just as powerful, but it summarizes everything you've said. So if somebody was, just like we had one student kind of dozing off a little bit, if you have someone dozing off in your speech, your closing should be able to give them the quick synopsis of what you talked about. So really, you know, they could say, oh, I really didn't miss much because I, got the closing. But that's kind of the impression that you want them to have. So that's pretty much literally the basic of speech writing. Those are the 3 parts of the speech that you want to have. So now you guys get to go ahead and have your own experience, as I'm going to give you 15 minutes. I'm going to give you 15 minutes to write your own speech, and it's the icebreaker speech. And you want to give me a title. And we didn't talk about titles, but I'll do titles real quick, just brief overview on titles. The title of your speech should match up with your speech, but necessarily doesn't have to give your speech away.
How long does it have to be?
The what?
The speech. The
speech, you're just going to give me a basic outline, just as we did here, and then you're going to speak for 2 minutes on it. Yes?
Is this about the theme or about us?
No, it's going to be, if you're going to do the competition, I would want you to write about the competition, but it seems like most of you are not going to do the competition. I would say talk about yourself. Because I want you to be able to be comfortable with talking about yourself, because that's the first step in becoming a great speaker.
Even though that I'm not going to do competition,
yes.
I just write about the competition topic.
Yeah, you could if you like. The option is yours. If you're thinking about doing a competition, I will write up the topic for the competition. If you're not, the icebreaker is going to be an opportunity for you to speak about yourself, which is a great technique to help you to get comfortable with public speaking if you're nervous about it. But as I was saying about titles are something that would help people to understand what is your speech about. It's not giving your speech away, but it's an opportunity to introduce your speech, okay? So I need a title, a brief outline of what your speech is going to be about, and I'll put the topics on there if you're going to do the competition, and you're going to present this in 2 minutes. Okay? So I'm going to give you about 15 minutes to go ahead and work on this this outline, and if you need help, just let me know. And the icebreaker is just a quick tool to kind of help you to understand what the basic steps are in writing your first speech. Yes? You need help? Okay, I'll help you in just a minute. Okay. All right, let me write the topics down. So if you are between the ages of 13 in high school age is what? 17, 18, 19? Senior?
It said 13 to 19, but most kids are 18.
Okay, so we'll just say 19 for keepsake. So if you are in that age group, your topic is born with talent, bred with skill. And if you are in the ages of 10 to 12, yours is service, excellence, and leadership. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Okay? And I'm going to come and help you too, but doesn't anyone else have any questions? We're good to go? Everyone understands the instructions? Okay, I'm going to come in with you in just a minute. So you need a title. You need to give an outline, an opening, a body, 3 points, and a closing. And you're going to have 2 minutes. You can either do the topic if you're interested, even if you're thinking about it. At least try the topics. If not, then you can do the icebreaker, which is talking about yourself. And I'll come and help you too. Who's the person? Yours? Do you mind? Do you mind if I move over here? Okay. Come over here. So what you need help? No? And what about you? You need help understanding how to do it too? Okay, no problem. All right, where's your paper? Get your paper. No. We'll use the white paper. This is the way to make your notes. Where's your pen? Oh, I thought you had one. I saw you writing with it. I think your bag has a pen. Check and see if your bag has a pen. And if you guys have any questions, just say Miss Fayola or Miss Delica. If you can help me, or just raise your hand and I'll periodically turn around to see if you need help. Sir? Oh, okay. Oh, this is good? Oh, okay. That's why 2 friends, if y'all gonna have a family company? No? Okay. Where did you get your pen from? In your bag?
Nothing.
Whose bag is this? Yours? Whose bag is that? Okay. All right. Let's see. I have an extra pen. And I didn't tell you there is going to be a first, second, and third place position. So make sure it's a good one. I'm finding one for him.
Oh, yeah, he had one.
Yeah, he said he didn't get one, so I don't know where he put it. So that's all right. We'll let him borrow mine. Okay. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to think about it. And talking about yourself. Are we all okay? Yeah? Any questions? Don't be shy. There's no right or wrong answer. No questions? Yes, go ahead. Help?